welcome to part 5 of the Enterprise Refit build-up. Just managed to complete the officers lounge now, so that's done. We've got the little people on board now. We've got a few spattered around the place, and then we've also got the 2 decals for Leonard Nimoy in there, just to, as I say, a little tribute to the man himself. So that's looking really nice. I'm happy with the way that turned out. It, for the most part, looks pretty neat in there. So that's pretty cool. We only had one accidental beheading as well. So, you know, that's really good. You know, I personally think that he was a red shirt in disguise, but he still met his fate. But yeah, so I'm happy with the way that that's looking. The decals are quite good as well. If I just get a torch there, hopefully you might be able to see the light being able to shine through those there just with the torch. So that's good. Happy with the result there. So that's that bit done. So let's just move that over to one side for the minute. The next thing for me to do is to work on the 1.5 shuttle bays that I've got. So I need to, on this, let me just zoom out there. There we go. So you can see there we've got 5 injector pin marks that need to be removed there. We've got 4 that need to be removed there, and then we've got another 4 that need to be removed there as well. So that's fairly unlucky for some of the amount that we've got there. On the section, the wall section here, we've got some that need to be removed from various places as well, where we might be able to see them. So that's going to take a little bit of time to do that. If we get the other side of the wall out, we do have some injector pin markings as well along these sides that need to be removed, as you can see there. I mean, there's quite a lot of them actually. These walls, these windows need to be removed as well for the photo etch. I'm toying with the idea of opening up these little worker bee hatches. See if we can get some light coming through those. I think that might look pretty cool if we can. Also toying with the idea at the moment of actually building a box there as well, so we can just get some people in. Need to open up all the windows down this side, all the little lights. I need to open those up all down that side as well. And I also need to open up the walkway. Let me just get that back in its shot. So I also need to open the walkway just there as well for the photo etch as well. So we've got the continuous walkway from all that way down. Obviously we've also got all the photo etch parts in there as well that need to be done. So this is going to take a while actually, to be quite honest. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but the shuttle bay is definitely going to take quite a bit of time before we can even sort of get into the stage of painting it. Plus the fact I also need to mark on here as well exactly where my sequential running lights are going. Still need to contact Ralph actually and ask him if we can connect 8 lights up to this, but that's not a problem. I'll get that sorted out. So yeah, and then obviously once I've finished doing the full shuttle bay, I'll then move on to the half shuttle bay. Or I might actually leave that, I don't know, it depends whether the photo etch comes in time for that or not really. But I just really want to get the main shuttle bay over and done with. So I'm going to carry on, get some work done to this, and as soon as I've got some work to show you, I will come back to you and talk you through it. Managed to get quite a bit of work done to the shuttle bay today actually. It's gone a lot quicker than I thought it would do, and there hasn't really been any issues really with this particular part of it. Biggest thing really is on the floor. There was, on this little piece here, there was 13 injector pin marks that we needed to fill in. Not impressed, Mr. Round 2. So if you're watching, please sort out your moulds. So yeah, that's been done. That's been smoothed down. So the only thing for me really to do on there is just get the yellow stripe down on there, or get the yellow painted on there. And then I just need to work out where I need to put the holes for the chaser lights, and that shouldn't hopefully take too long. Once the holes have been drilled in, I'll then be able to put the grey down, put the mask on first, should I say, sorry, and then put the grey paint down on this section, and then do I think it's a lighter grey on these two sections. I just need to double check, and then I'll be able to light block these two parts here, and I might see if I can actually light block the bottom part as well, apart from where obviously the yellow stripes are going to be. So that's that bit done. The exciting bit is the fact that we've got all of the photo etch now on these bits. So we've got the windows in there, then we've got all of the ribs up there and the little ribs down the bottom, and then all those big ribs up the top. The other thing that we've done as well, hopefully you'll be able to see this if we can get this into shot. We've opened up you can see it just there. We've opened up the walkway. So that's looking pretty cool. You can see right through down to the end. So that's good. That's just how it should be. So we've got that. Obviously we need to put some goo in there for the windows. And then we've also got exactly the same done to the other side. So we've got all the ribs in there. And the windows at the back. And once again, if we can do it from this side, we've also got the door open on that side as well. So that's fantastic. One of the other things that I will be doing, if I just get the roof and just quickly mock this up for you, one of the other things I will, wrong side. One of the other things that I'm thinking about doing is working on the ribs on the top of the kit. That's just sort of barely in that bit. That's so you can see there, if we put that to there, you can see that the ribs only go about a third of the way in on each side. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna build those ribs right up so they go right across the center span as well. I think it'd just look a lot neater like that, and I think really, to be quite honest, that was actually the way that it was meant to be as well. So I will get that done. That won't take too long to do, really, to be quite honest, to be fair. I've got the right thickness as well of styrene for this, luckily enough. It's 0.75 mil, and I think it's about a third of a mil thick as well. So that will sit quite nicely on those, which is great. So I'm kind of happy about that. So I'll be able to get those in. I don't think you're going to be able to see that detail once it's in, to be fair, but you know, that's not a problem. It doesn't matter. It's, you know, just one of those little finicky things that I want to do for myself more than anything else, just so I know that it's finished off. One of the other things that we've done as well, and again, I'm not really sure whether you're going to see this or not, but we've got all of the little the little lights drilled out as well. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping that the backlighting that runs down the inside of the secondary hole should actually light those up. What I'll do once I've got this painted, I'll just put the drill in there just to drill them out and get rid of any excess paint that's in there, and then I'll just go back and I'll just put a little blob of crystal clear on there, or canopy glue, one of those two, just to make it look as though it's got a cover over the light. So the next thing for me to do on these really now is to actually start painting these. I'm going to do these in the original colours. So towards the back of it, it's all sort of done in a green colour, and then towards the back, towards the front of the shuttle bay here, it's actually done in like a creamy kind of colour. So I'll be doing that as well. Oh, one of the other things I've actually done on this side, and only on this side, I've opened up the little the little, I've forgotten what they call them now. I keep on thinking they're busy bees, but they're not busy bees. Worker bees. That's the one, the worker bees. Oh, you got there in the end. So yeah, I've opened up the little worker bee hatches just on this side only. I'm not sure whether the kit does actually get supplied with worker bees. If not, then I just order some from DLM, put those in there. But the kit might have them in there. I just can't remember. So yeah, that's about it for the moment. So I'm going to continue on with this tomorrow now. It's getting a bit too late for me, to be quite honest. So I'm going to continue on with this tomorrow, and I'm hopefully going to start getting all of these bits painted. So as soon as I've got some more work done to this, I will come back to you. Managed to get quite a bit of work done to the shuttle bay today. Doesn't look like it, to be quite honest, but we have. We've got the, on this particular section, which is the floor, we've got the front end of this painted in a light grey. For that I used the medium sea grey from Tamiya, that's the XF83. Had a little bit of an issue though, unfortunately there. I did get some dust in there, so I just needed to wait until the paint dried off, and then I just quickly sanded it down with 1200 grit. So I just need to go back over that again tomorrow, and that'll be fine. And I've also got the underside of that blacked off as well. I don't, really, to be quite honest, I don't think it'd need it, but I done it anyway just in case. We've also got the ceiling painted. Now I've been looking at the reference pictures that you can get of the kit, of the shuttle bay, from, you know, in the film, and also the reference pictures that you see online. And the actual shuttle bay itself, for some bizarre reason, is all mainly green. So that's the way that I've done it. The back end, or the front end of the shuttle bay, is done in a sort of a creamy off-white colour. So that's how I've done that as well. Now to get this shade, which is fairly close to what you see on screen, I used a combination of the Tamiya JA Green, which is the XF13, and the JA Grey, which is the XF14. Now the XF14 JA Grey, that has got some green in it anyway. But that's lightened that right down. I don't know the exact ratio of paints, to be quite honest, because that was done by eye. But they're the two that I use for that. And that is somewhat close to what you see on screen. And the bottom side of that as well, or the top side should I say really, that's been blacked off as well. And I've temporarily just put the windows in there, the lighting panels, just to see what they would look like in there. With these, you have got the little ribs in those, so I'm just going to need to double check and see if I need to paint those or not. I might need to, but if I do, I mean, that's not really going to be a problem, to be fair, because you just can put a little bit of masking tape around those and then just black them off and then paint them, and that'll be fine. We've also got the walls of the shuttle bay done as well, so that's what they're looking like. So that's the cream that I've used. Now that was the Humbrol Ivory, which is number 41, and I really do, I think I've said this before, but I really do not like the Humbrol acrylic paints. They just don't go through my airbrush at all well, so I've kind of struggled with that really. In the end, I've watered that down so much it's almost like water coming out my airbrush, so it's taken a while to actually get that built up. But that's what it's looking like there. I just need to go in and change the colour on this middle bit here. So that's going to be fun, because that bit needs to be the same colour as that. So I'm going to need to paint that white first, because this stuff is just so translucent, it's unbelievable. So I'm just going to need to paint that white, then I can paint it the ivory colour. And again, that's actually been done in the, that's also been blacked out on that side as well. Now if we get the torch, hopefully you should, now it's all been light blocked, see the effect of the little lights for the, there you go. So that's what they're going to kind of look like, and they go all the way to the end there, and then they go all the way to there, and that's where they stop. So they should hopefully look pretty good. I just need to get a little double of microcrystal clear, or the canopy glue, in the front of those, just to make it look as though there's a cover on the light source. So that's all done. I've also got the the back end of the ship done, which really, to be quite honest, is inaccurate because you shouldn't have a platform there. It should just be three of the cargo spaces high. But that's okay. We can go with that because that's a little walkway there, so that means we can get some little figures in there. So I'm not going to bother mucking about with that. We've also got the 2 motion picture shuttlecraft done. That's what one of them looks like so far. There's only 4 bits to this really in the kit. There's 2 bits of photo etch that's applied. So they're on. You've got the actual docking ring, and then there's the outer little ring that goes on the top there as well. And that's what it looks like from the bottom. I just need to really go in and just do some putty work on those. I used the perfect plastic putty for that to get that done. I've also been working on the turbo lifts, and that's what they look like naked. Oh, that's upside down, so if we put it the right way around, there you go. So you can't really see the detail on that being absolutely clear. You can a little bit, but that's what it looks like when it's painted. Now that's actually just done in black at the moment, and the reason why I've just done that in black is because I just needed to light block that first, so we only get the lights coming through the panels rather than the whole thing. Now at the moment I'm not sure what colour I'm going to paint this, or both of the turbo lifts, because I've been looking at not only the reference pictures but also screenshots as well, and it kind of, you know, in some pictures you see it looks green, in other pictures it looks as though it's more of a silver colour, and then on other pictures as well you've got the same sort of creamy colour as you've got there as well. So kind of not sure what colour I'm going to go for. I might end up going for a silver colour on this, or an aluminium or something like that, just to make them sort of stand out a little bit more, because if I paint them the same green as the rest of it, they're not really going to stand out too well. So I'll most probably end up going for a sort of like a flat aluminium, or maybe a steel colour or something like that, just to sort of help them stand out a little bit. One of the other things I've been looking at as well and investigating today is the cutaway section of the shuttle bay that I'm going to be doing. So if we just quickly get this on, if we can. There we go, that's in. Sorry, excuse me. So if we look underneath there, you can see we got plenty of room there for the shuttle bay storage underneath the landing bay. So that's great news. That means we can do that without a problem. I just need to really work on how I'm going to block off all the bits that we're not going to see. I'm also going to need to get rid of the tabs on this side as well that we're not going to be using. So by the time that's actually on, if we can just get the other bit, just loosely put it in, because we are covering up one of the tabs there, unfortunately. No, that's the wrong side. Trust me to pick up the wrong one. Let's have a little look. That's almost in. As I say, we're covering up one of the tab holes, so almost only like a tadpole then. But that's what that's going to look like when it's done. Obviously that's going to have the roof on it as well, just to help it along, and the back wall there. One of the other things that I will be doing as well, just to give myself that little bit more work when I do this cross section, I'm also going to put the arboretum in as well. Main reason being is that, you know, I've worked on that arboretum, or the arboretum for the ship itself, which is still going in there, but you can't really see a lot of the detail on there, and it's such a shame to have a model like that where you can't see all the detail. So on this one I'm going to do the other arboretum that I have as well, and I'm also going to put on the back wall for this as well. I won't go to the point of putting the windows in and everything. I'm just going to block all of those off from view. So you're only going to really have the side wall. This front bit here, I'm just going to get rid of this mounting peg I'm just going to cut that off to a certain degree, and then I'm just going to put a blanking plate in there as well. I'm not going to go heavy on this. I'm not going to put all of the Aztec in, etc. on it. Just more than likely just going to do it a pearlescent white and then just leave it like that. I won't put any decals on it or anything. And what I also need to do as well for this is just find a suitable place to mount the stand for it as well, because obviously I'm going to be changing the centre of gravity. The pole mounting is just there anyway, so I just need to find a suitable place to put some a stand underneath it. So that should keep me occupied for quite a while as well, so I'm going to be doing that as well, more than likely before I actually get onto the main event of doing the ship itself. That kind of like give me a little bit of practice as well, really, on this. Again, with this underneath here, with where you've got the phaser paints and everything, I don't think I'm going to go to that level of detail. I think I'll just spray it all in like a pearl white or something and leave it as that. And then we'd just be able to cover in all the bits that we don't need. But that's about it. That's where we've got to so far. So as soon as I've got some more work done to this wee beastie, I will come back to you. Get a little bit more work done to the shuttle bay tonight. And this has actually taken me quite a while to do, mainly because you just need to really sort of focus on what you're doing on this. I've got the centre stripes down on this and got the shuttle bay painted. There's still quite a bit of work to do to this, really. I used the transfer tape from Jerry at HDA Model Works, and I got to tell you, that stuff is absolutely fantastic. This is the first time I've ever used it, and I am so impressed with this this masking tape that Jerry supplies to be able to get these sort of stripes down. And it's really easy to use too. I kind of didn't sort of go through that on this particular one because it's the first time I've ever used it, and I just wanted to sort of really concentrate on it and get it right, so I couldn't have really talked you through it and done it at the same time. But when I do the cross-section shuttle bay, I will take you through the steps needed to get this done. So it does take a little while to do. So as you can see there, we've got that done. We've also got the holes drilled as well for the chaser lights that are going in. Now this is translucent as well. I've purposely made that translucent so you can actually see the light actually coming through there, which is absolutely fantastic. Really happy with the way that turned out. I am going to be using the SMDs for this, so they are the 0603 pure white SMDs. I got these from the LED Baron. Let's see if I can put my hand through there just to, there you go. So it's www.ledbaron.de. So he's actually from Germany, and real good service from him. I'll definitely give him that. Very good service from him. Very reasonable prices, and you know, quality of the products is really good, and he's got absolutely tons and tons of different LEDs on there. He does the ones that are pre-soldered like this with the really thin magnet wire on them. These have got a lacquer coating on them as well, so there's no need to really worry about insulating them. But these really good. As I say, can't fault him at all. Very good service. You know, you can always guarantee that when you put your order in, it's posted within sort of 24 to 48 hours. You know, and it takes from me, from Germany to England, doesn't really take that long. It normally takes sort of somewhere between sort of 7 to 10 days to get here. So, you know, it's really good. Recommend him to anybody. So I'm going to be using these for the shuttle bay floor to do the chaser sequence lights. I decided to go with the SMDs rather than the LEDs because I can make these holes here smaller. One of the things, and I'm not criticising anybody's builds at all, but one of the things I have noticed is that some people actually use the LEDs, and these holes are drilled out and they're a bit too big. you know, for the scale of the ship. I've used a 0.7 mil circuit board drill bit for those, and what I did was I used a little bit of card actually, like this, as you can hopefully see there. Just drilled out holes on that just to experiment, really, all the way from a 0.7 all the way up to a 1 mil, just to see, you know, what they would look like. And it was the 7 mil that I decided to go with. So the first 6 in each row, they're just going to be white. Then the 7th one is going to be amber, and then the 8th one is going to be red. Now, one of the things that I did do is I laid the mask down for the yellow stripes first. Then I measured the distance between this edge here and this edge here, and it's 5 millimeters exactly. So what I did is I just marked a line straight down that was 2.5 millimeters from each end, so it's basically in the middle. And then I've done that on both sides, and then from there, using the rear of the shuttle bay, where the shuttle bay door goes in, I just kind of marked out from there where we would need the lights. So the red ones, these are 2.5 mil from that yellow line, and then each one from there is actually a centimetre apart. Now these two, I think it's these two here, you've got the shuttle bay doors that actually go across there. So there's actually a 0.5 centimetre on each side of those doors for these two, and that's kind of how I wanted it to be. So, you know, and then there's about a centimetre's gap from there to there, or maybe just about 1.5 centimetres. But basically what I did is, once I'd had the mask down on there and I knew exactly where my lines were going to be, I just basically drew everything out with a pencil, and then I was able to go in and then drill the holes and get them as sort of accurate as possible, and they are actually, you know, they're pretty much all straight actually, so that's a bit of a bonus. So that whole bit, and then also painting the grey paint on there and then taking the masks back off again, I think that bit there is got to be about 2.5, 3 hours worth of work just to do that bit there. But you know, this kind of thing is, you know, it is kind of a make or break really, as to how, you know, as to how good it's going to be. So it's really, really worth taking your time over something like this, just to make sure that you absolutely get it spot on. It's best to do it in, as a Sam, and I did it in pencil. So, you know, if you're not happy with the way it looks with pencil, the good thing is you can just rub that pencil mark out and then start all over again before you've even put a hole in there. You know, and then you can just do it again and keep on doing it until you're happy. So it's really, really worth taking your time over getting something like that done and doing a bit of research. I know some builds, or most of the builds I've seen actually have the lights on the outside there. There are a couple of builds where they've got like a continual strip of chaser lights in the centre part. I've only seen that on one build, so I just decided to do mine the way that I've seen others, with the chaser lights on the outside like that. One thing that I will do once I've got this completely done is, as I say, I will put a drop of the Tamiya clear, orange and red in those as well, but I'll also put a little drop of the canopy glue in the top as well, just to help fill those holes in a little bit, and it'll also get the light to the surface as well, as they will be attached from the bottom side there. There's no need to actually light block this on the bottom, because this grey paint does actually act as the light block itself, so that's good news. But yeah, as I say, the only thing that I've really got left to do to this now is I'm just waiting for the paint to dry on this. I want the actual base of the shuttle bay, I want the floor to be gloss. So tomorrow I'm just going to give that a couple of coats of gloss paint, just to get that really glossy, and I think that'll actually then give me the look that I'm after myself. Once that clear coat's dried, I can then just start putting in the SMDs. I mean, the ones that go in here, you know, on these parts here, I will actually paint those with the orange or the amber and the red. But as I say, I will then just also put a little drop of corresponding colours in the top as well. And I will also get the wires facing down that way. I'll make sure that all the wires are going down that way. But that's about where we are, and as I say, it represents about 3 hours worth of work to get that done. So that's about it for me for this evening, and I think that's going to be about it for this video as well, actually, to be quite honest. I think this update is getting a bit long. So I will catch up with you, I believe, in part 6, where hopefully this will be glossed, and we'll also have the SMDs in place as well. I think what I might do is I might actually go over how to install the SMDs as well. I know for sort of like the advanced modeler, yeah, you know how to do it, but you know, for somebody who doesn't really know how to work with SMDs, I think it might be a good a good sort of tip or two to actually how you know, you can actually do the work with those. So that's about it from me. I will catch up with you in part 6. So thanks for watching, and please do take care.